Ken Trahan with Lenny Vangilder. It's our First NBC Bank Weekend Preview, brought to you by First NBC Bank, with 32 locations throughout the greater New Orleans area and expanding into Florida. And who knows where next? First NBC Bank, proud sponsor of SportsNOLA.com. The New Orleans Pelicans continuing their lone homestand against the Clippers on Friday night. And obviously it figures to be a sellout based on everything I've been able to derive. So big crowd. Chris Paul's back in town. Good team here. The question is, will Anthony Davis be on the floor?
That's a great question. It's probably one we won't find out until shortly before game time. It was kind of a scary moment on Wednesday night against Denver when he went down going up to catch that alley-oop pass, and he came down. It's an adductor strain for me and you who are not maybe as medically terminology inclined. It's a groin strain. And they say he's 50-50 basically. He's questionable. We know we won't see Drew Holiday, but Davis is kind of guy who probably will want to play. It's just a question, do they want to err on the side of caution, give him 3 more days? They've got the weekend off before the hottest team in the NBA, the Atlanta Hawks, come to town on Monday.
Should be very interesting time, and obviously to face these teams, you'd like to be at full strength, but they also should be careful with Anthony Davis. That goes without saying. We'll see how this unfolds. Of course, the Super Bowl coming up on Sunday, the Patriots and the Seahawks. The latest distraction, Richard Sherman talking about the possibility of missing the game for the birth of his child. Lenny, I don't see that happening, but yet it's still another weird development leading into this game. There have been a lot of those.
There really have. It's been a little about what's happening on the field and everything about what's not happening on the field, be it Deflategate or what Marshawn Lynch isn't going to say today, or now the latest, the Richard Sherman situation. Let's focus on the field for a sec. I think this clearly comes down to, the most important time will be when the Patriots have the football. What does the Patriots offense do against the Seahawks defense? We saw how Seattle just totally shut down Peyton Manning a year ago. They've done it so many times since then. I like the Seahawks in this game personally, but again, I think we've got a pretty decent one on tap here. I don't think you're going to be able to just shut off your TV in the third quarter like last year, other than maybe wanting to see what the rest of the commercials are.
No, I agree with you. I think it's going to be a great game. I've gone back and forth over and over and over and over again, and finally arrived with the Patriots to win by 4. We'll see what transpires. With regard to baseball, LSU ranked in the top 4 in the country in 3 different polls, as high as number 2. It's pretty special considering they lost a guy in Nola, who was really the best pitcher in the country for the most part.
Yeah, and it's going to be a pitching staff that's you got to see who's going to step up. There's going to have to be some young guys step up in there. The everyday lineup is going to be good. The outfield, you hear people saying that their outfield could be as fast as any outfield in baseball, and that includes the professional ranks, that they can go get anything out there with the 3 guys they're going to put in left, center, and right. So, hey, it's here. Loyola actually starts this weekend. Delgado starts the following week, and then the Division I schools, Tulane, UNO, LSU, will all get underway February 13th. So baseball season's upon us. Thursday was a great weather day. It was kind of a baseball sort of day. Now, cold weather back in a little bit on Friday, but still, it's it's that time.
College basketball, UNO a win this past Monday night. Good to see that. Tulane floundering now, and really talent starting to win out against them. And LSU, of course, with the 3rd straight win against South Carolina. So they continue to look for more this weekend. And obviously, LSU's the one to watch, 37-38 in the latest, the RPI rankings. And certainly they're in a great position to make the tournament, but they're trying to enhance that as we speak.
Yeah, I had a chance to catch some of the LSU-South Carolina game, and I think the feel is that what LSU has to do, they're 5-2 in the league right now. They probably need to be 12-6, 13-5 in the league to feel comfortable going into Selection Sunday, depending, of course, on what happens in the SEC tournament. And they clearly have the talent to do that. And they've got, a game at Mississippi State, a team they should beat on the road before coming home for a huge 3-game homestand. It gets capped off with a visit from undefeated and top-ranked Kentucky on February 10th. In fact, everybody locally is on the road this weekend. UNO is at McNeese. Tulane is at Temple. It's tougher for those other 2 teams besides LSU to try to get one on the road this Saturday.
And, of course, last but not least, high school athletics and the LHSAA Convention in Baton Rouge and all the big-ticket items voted on Friday morning. And the bullet points are very clearly these. Number 1, no split in other sports, just in football. The proposal of vote for a split in other sports, starting with the first proposal on baseball was denied, and then it was taken off the table totally. In terms of baseball, by the way, a pitch count was implemented, winning by 4 votes, but they will implement a pitch count in baseball. The proposal to reduce the number of championships to 7 from 9 in football was tabled until a future time, so they'll stick with 9 this year. It certainly appears, as much as anything. Those are kind of the bullet points, but there are a few others too, Lenny.
Yeah, there is one playoff expansion. Soccer will go from 3 divisions to 4 divisions. And then, beyond that, a lot of smaller things in play. Obviously, the headline is the spring sports, if you will, baseball, softball, boys, girls, basketball. Those either got tabled or pulled off the table or got shot down. And that is a win for the new executive director, Eddie Bonine. No question about that. He asked, hey, give me more time. Let me try to be a consensus builder on some of these things. Give me a chance to come in here, and the principals listen. And that is the most encouraging thing that is happening on this Friday in terms of high school sports.
Well, regardless of where you fall on some of these issues, I'm encouraged by Eddie Bonine and the leadership he's exhibited already and trying to get people to follow along and give him an opportunity to study, make recommendations, get behind them, and hopefully get people to follow along with him. That's what a leader is.
That's what a leader is. You look at the great commissioners, executive directors in sports. They are consensus builders. Give the man a chance to build a consensus in this state. And clearly the vote today says we're going to give you that chance.
Big sports weekend, and we look forward to talking to you early next week after the Super Bowl. That's our First NBC Bank Weekend Preview, brought to you by First NBC Bank, with 32 locations throughout the greater New Orleans area and beyond, and also into Florida now as they continue to grow. That's First NBC Bank, proud sponsor of SportsNOLA.com. For Lenny, I'm Kenny. Have a great weekend, and God bless you. All right, try to